Talking with the experts.
Learn to overcome business challenges and achieve long-term success in our latest podcast episode 515 with Veena Gandhi.
Yes, absolutely. And business is a school in itself, if you really ask me, because no school teaches you, in schools especially, unfortunately, failure is looked at as something negative, where, suddenly parents are called up, like, your child is not performing, do something about it. And that's been ingrained so badly into our systems, that every time we fail in business or anything in life, we take it way too personally. We kind of mull over it so much, and we don't. It takes, initially, even with me, it used to take me a lot of time getting out of that phase of having failed something and then trying to move to the next step. And I think with time and with understanding of how things work, it's become faster. But it's so very ingrained into our system, into our DNA, that we feel that, oh no, the way we did things in school. But school is not life, right? And they're just so very different.
Talking with the experts.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts, where we believe that success is a journey, and every journey is easier with help from friends. That's why we bring you top-notch experts and real business heroes eager to share their lessons from the road to success. We delve into new topics each week: effective marketing strategies, innovative problem-solving, financial planning, and team building. We tackle everything you need to know to grow your business and keep it thriving. Whether you dream about launching your first startup or a business veteran looking to shake things up, we've got you covered. With each episode, you'll gain knowledge, boost your confidence, and be inspired to take action. So, grab a coffee, make yourself comfortable, and join our exciting journey. You're not alone in this. We're here, guiding you, cheering for you, and celebrating each milestone. Let's turn your business dreams into reality, starting today. Here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello, welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is all about business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. Today, my guest is Veena Gandhi, and Veena's going to be talking to us about resilience. Now, we all know that resilience is a critical trait for entrepreneurs. It often serves as a driving force behind our ability to navigate the challenges and uncertainties of the business world. As an entrepreneur, we are bound to face setbacks, failures, and unexpected obstacles. And most of us give up far too easily, and 90% of businesses fail in their first year. So how can we embrace resilience in business? Now, Veena is a growth-driven marketer at Digital Street. She has over 14 years of advertising experience and has led multi-million-dollar campaigns for companies like Leo Burnett, McCann, and FCB. She's a data-driven marketer who helps e-commerce brands in the fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and fitness niches to scale and grow to 7+ figures and beyond through Facebook, Google, and TikTok ads. As a digital consultant and performance media specialist, she works closely with businesses, advertising agencies, providing digital strategy, CRO solutions, full funnel builds, and digital advertising solutions. Veena, it is such a pleasure to have you on Talking with the Experts. Thank you and welcome.
Rose, thank you so very much for having me. The pleasure is, believe me, absolutely mine.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. Now, tell me, how did you end up doing what you're doing? So, just a brief overview of your journey up till now.
Yep. So I've always been in advertising, and I have worked, as you just read in my bio, I've worked with agencies like Leo Burnett, McCann, and I worked across countries. So I was right now I've been in Australia for 7 years, and before that I was in Dubai. Again, I was working with some of the top agencies there on some of the top brands there, and I launched my own business there as well, which picked up quite well. And I was consulting, and finally when I moved to Australia, when we packed everything in Dubai and took the big chance of moving here, so I applied for a few jobs, and everyone said, no, you don't have local experience. And my global experience was completely disregarded. And that's when my husband said, you don't have to worry. You've been running a business in Dubai. You can do it here as well. And so I think that just happened. And I just launched my own agency. And I had no network, no friends. I knew no one professionally. And still I took the plunge. And here I am running 6 years down the line, a 7-figure agency.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That they disregarded your previous experience. That seems a bit odd.
Yes, because everyone, as it's advertising, everyone just wanted local experience. And I had none because, till you don't give someone a chance, how are they going to get local experience? And surprisingly, the same agencies were ready to onboard me for white labeling services, for freelancing, but they just didn't feel comfortable hiring me for a job. And as I really believe whatever happens for the best. And I'm so glad they didn't hire me.
Well, I think so are your clients, just quietly.
Yes,
now, as an entrepreneur, we all know that we are challenged with many struggles and ups and downs, obstacles to our businesses. But how can we build resilience into not only our business to enable it to keep going and to thrive, but into ourselves?
So I think our experiences actually teach us resilience as well. And this might be a very different viewpoint from most, like, read 400 motivational books and go to listen to podcasts. All that is great, all that is temporary. And it's your experiences which basically make you stronger. So in my own personal journey as well, I've seen a lot of ups and downs. And whether we are in a business or even in a career, no one has a linear progression. I think there are very few, there are no careers that offer you a linear progression. And and as we know, businesses are like up, down, and everything's exact. So, of course, something that really helps is how each experience, to take each experience as a learning experience, take each mistake as a learning, as something you can learn from, because I personally think there are no mistakes in businesses. There are only learnings. And this really helps you build that resilience. A lot of people mistake it for thick skin. I say that's, you can give it any term, but thick skin, to my mind, has some negative connotations, and I would never say call any business owner like thick skin, because we are sensitive people by the end of the day who all want to change the world in their own ways. And so I think your experiences are your biggest teachers for building in resilience.
Absolutely. And I don't think I think the word fail should be taken out of our vocabulary as well, because failure is really only a learning curve.
Yes, and I remember growing up, my dad always used to say something which now I really connect with is failures are the pillars of success. And, at that time it would sound like, oh, what does he really mean by this? And actually it really means that every learning experience, every mistake is a learning experience. And there is no failures, because we are not inventing the bulb, right? And even if, so it's and maybe some businesses are into inventions, but each time they're not able to do something, they've learned something out of it. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think if you don't learn from your mistakes and you don't learn from your failures, then you shouldn't be in business, I don't believe, because there's always room for improvement, and we don't ever get it right first time. And for those that do, it's a very small minority.
Yes, I'm yet to come across any business that has got it right the first time. And even if you look like giant businesses like Apple, Amazon, or McDonald's, you name any business, no one did it right in the first go. You just can't. It's and if you think you can, then I think that's your failure. In fact.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you have to weather the storms of business, because there are so many. I mean, you don't learn to be a great digital marketer overnight. I mean, that takes time. It takes, you don't go to school and you know everything. It takes years of learning to get to where you are when you finish, you know, at high school. So, you know, business is exactly the same as going to school.
Yes, absolutely. And business is a school in itself, if you really ask me, because no school teaches you, in schools especially, unfortunately, failure is looked at as something negative, where, suddenly parents are called up, like, your child is not performing, do something about it. And that's been ingrained so badly into our systems, that every time we fail in business or anything in life, we take it way too personally. We kind of mull over it so much, and we don't. It takes, initially, even with me, it used to take me a lot of time getting out of that phase of having failed something and then trying to move to the next step. And I think with time and with understanding of how things work, it's become faster. But it's so very ingrained into our system, into our DNA, that we feel that, oh no, the way we did things in school. But school is not life, right? And they're just so very different. So I think that's something we really need to embrace failure more. We need to celebrate failure more, rather than it just being a black spot in our,
in our lives. Yeah.
Life. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that that word, it shouldn't. Maybe we can find another word, because we need to change our vocabulary and our thinking around the word failure, or not being good enough, or comparisonitis, and all those other things, because they do have a negative connotation. And as children, if we couldn't tie our shoelaces or whatever, for whatever reason, we failed at something, or we couldn't learn to read a clock, like on an analog clock, you were thought of as a failure, but you're not really. It may not be in your DNA to be able to do those things, and it's not a failure on your part. And people should, not point fingers. And my business, for instance, has had that many meta connotation, in that many changes. I can't even get the word. So many connotations since I started 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And to me, I've built resilience into everything that I do, because, I could have just given up and not done anything. But, I've changed as my experiences have changed, and I've changed, when my knowledge has changed. And, I started off being offering admin services, and now I'm offering podcast courses to people. So,
Wow.
that's a big change. And, you have to build resilience, and you have to be determined, I think, just to keep going, and don't give up when something doesn't work. To think of something else, do something. That's how my podcast came to be, because I just thought, well, they need help. Business owners need help during the pandemic. And I thought, well, do a podcast and they can learn from other business owners. And so, think of other things outside the box.
Absolutely. And, I think all businesses should evolve. Otherwise, if they don't evolve, we've seen fate of lots of businesses that have not evolved with the times, like, video libraries, for example, before Netflix came, and for BlackBerry of the world, iMessage came, and, other apps came, and they just vanished from the face of earth. So we have a number of businesses who did not evolve with the times, and it depends a lot on who is heading those businesses as well, because times are changing. Times have changed, right? They are moving. They are not constant. So how can you expect a business to be constant? Like, I started my journey from above the line advertising, and I had to I had to revamp my business to be a digital marketer. So I have seen days of, where we used to make commercials for TV, which is great. People still make them. But TV commercials are also now first made for social media platforms or for the internet before they're made for TV. And they're still called TV commercials for whatever reason. And I think that evolution, that change is so very much required. And and it's it's something that interests you, something that keeps your passion alive, and can also pay your bills, because by the end of the day we can't live on love and thin air. And and you can take it to the next level. Why not? Otherwise, if we don't evolve, there'll be no innovations happening, right? If businesses did not evolve, we would not have had a Netflix today, or we would not have had all these gaming apps today, if they did not evolve. Because all these, we might like it or not like it, the monopolies, the Scrabbles of the world are now all gaming apps, and we play on our mobiles with those apps. So yeah, evolution is the name of the game.
Absolutely, and that's all part of being resilient. It's you have to evolve. You can't just give up, and at the first sign of some problem or other, people sometimes just give up rather than persevering and maybe just tweaking it a little bit so that it is more valuable to a client or to their employees or to whomever.
Yeah, and also because what happens is that entire stigma with failure and finding the easy way route out. If this didn't work out, and unfortunately, what really happens is, because there are so many people telling us, if there are 99% businesses that fail in the first year. If you've survived the third year, you are in business. If you've survived the fifth year, no, I know businesses that have shut down after 10 years as well, and they are doing something else. Because the day we stop telling people that, not necessarily you'll fail in your first year, you can do better as long as you keep changing what you want to do and not have those fixed mindsets. Because a lot of time what happens is, and then since we work with a lot of brands, and I see, they're not ready to move with the times. If you can't take your brand or your business with the times, you are not going to survive. It's like we never had an Uber 10 years back, right? Today, if the taxi services, the call dialer taxi services, they're not there, because now I just put it in my app and someone is here in 5 minutes. They'll take me wherever I want to go. So I don't need to bother. They're not going to ask me 200 questions. They'll show up, even if it's a short distance, right? And that's what is called evolution of a business. And that's how they just need to move on and see how you can. And businesses that have embraced that, keeping their target audience in mind, keeping the changes that are happening at a societal level, the behaviors that are changing, I think will really thrive. Then they just make it, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I agree. Persevering is always really important, and being stubborn. I mean, I used to be called stubborn when I was a child because I wouldn't give up. If I wanted something, I mean, maybe not if I wanted something, but if I was doing a task or doing something, I wouldn't give up. And so people called me stubborn and bullheaded and all those sorts of things. But it stands you in good stead for life's little traumas and things, doesn't it?
Yes. And also, I think, again, trying to do something which you really want to finish till the end, because that's another trait which business owners really need to do, is we are so stuck by the shiny object syndrome, the next best thing, the silver object, that we forget that what we have in hand. And so many times businesses come to us and they want to be on TikTok, they want to be on YouTube, they want to be on Instagram, they want to be on LinkedIn, they want to be on 10 million platforms. And I always tell them, master one, do one consistently, don't give up on one, and then move to the next one. So again, it's great if you've already finished that task. I think that's what is really lacking as well, because every time something new happens, business owners try and run after that as well. Also, because I think psychologically you feel you're doing something, and this entire thing about busy and productive, where you are trying to justify your time in a day, that yes, I'm spending 14 hours working, but what are you working? Is it really leading you to your goals? Is the next question. And that's where you start losing that resilience, because you're not consistent. So I think consistency, mindset, resilience, they all are part of the same thing. The one thing leads to the other, and just doing the work. As simple as that. just doing the work and figuring out what you really need to do to achieve your goals, and not run after everything and anything that comes your way.
Yeah, I'm guilty of the shiny object syndrome.
I also suffer from it time to time, and then I have to tell myself, no, just move back, just take a step back.
That's it.
And it's, you can't be running after everything and anything.
It's it. Yeah, I like to sometimes get sidetracked by shiny objects, and I think, but to me, it's a breakaway from the task at hand. But then I think, oh, do I really want to go back to that task? And sometimes you have to really push yourself to go back to that and leave that shiny object behind, because it's not doing you any good.
Yeah, so many times this happens with me as well. I'm like, okay, now then I have to pull back myself. No, I don't need this new tool. I don't need this new software. I don't need to do this. So let me just take a step back.
Yeah, because I'm an early adopter, and I love new technology, and I've got to try it out at least once, and it's cost me a fortune, to purchase all these apps and things that I've probably only used them once, and they're just sitting in my folders, not doing anything, gathering dust, so to speak. So yeah, I just I stop myself from doing it now, unless it's like something that I can really use and use all the time. I won't touch them anymore.
Isn't it like clothes? So many times you just buy clothes thinking that I'll fit in them, and someday I'm going to wear them, and you don't just kind of spring clean and don't just kind of throw them or whatever you want to, dispose them off or whatever you want to, or give away. Same with, I think, tools for entrepreneurs. We want everything. We think this is one object that is going to change my business, that is going to get me my $1 million. I think it's really, really difficult to move back from these things.
Yeah, basic things. They just keep the basics and don't worry about the shiny things, because the advertisers, of course they make it look really, like the next best thing since sliced bread. But quite often they're just the same as an app that you're using at the moment. They just present it in a shinier package.
Ask us all about marketing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to sell after all. We need to tell people this is the next best thing. You need to latch upon it.
Absolutely. Veena, you have a service or a product that you want to promote?
Sure. So basically, if someone is looking for a one-on-one consultation in Facebook or Google ads or TikTok ads, we would love to give them one-to-one consultation, whether it's an agency or it's a corporate. We've also launched a new training where my team and we specifically come into your business and we do your marketing strategy, and we tell you how to run your ads. So it's a hybrid kind of a model where it's done for you for the first couple of months, and then it's done with you, and eventually you take over everything. So if anyone is interested, they can really reach out to me and we can share more details.
Wonderful. Right. I will put that in the show notes, and I'll be very happy to do that. They can reach you at digitalstreetau.com.
Yes, hello@digitalstreetau.com. That's my email ID. They can reach out to me there. They can follow me on LinkedIn. They just need to type Veena Gandhi. And and I'm very active on LinkedIn. They can follow. They'll find a lot of valuable content, I hope, from
wonderful.
me.
Veena, if you were to give some advice to anyone, could be yourself, younger self, or to a new entrepreneur about anything at all, what would that be?
I would say just go for it. I mean, don't think about what's going to happen. Go for it with a plan. Don't stick to the plan. You necessarily don't need to stick to the plan, but just do whatever you want to do. Don't think what is your best friend's sister going to say, or what is that neighbor going to say if you launch your business or if you do something. I think so in time we waste so many years in analysis and paralysis that we just don't know we just don't do that thing. So don't aim for perfection, aim for action. That is what I really, really strongly believe in, whether it's that blog post in your folders, whether it's that post you want to go ahead with it, just do it.
Absolutely great advice. Yes, don't procrastinate. Go and do it. Just take that leap of faith, because honestly, it is worth it. It is worth it in the end, even though it might be a slow start, but it is worth it in the end.
And, even if you might not reach where you want to reach, you would have started. And I think starting is the most difficult thing.
It absolutely is. Veena, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today. And I look forward to talking to you again sometime soon.
Thank you so very much, Rose, for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. I really, really enjoyed chatting with you.
Oh, I'm so glad. It was a pleasure for me as well. Have a good afternoon, and I will
You
talk to
too.
you soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Rose. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.